Hello viewers, welcome to my channel, Ostino Educational Center. Today we'll be looking at the subject chemistry, and more importantly we are going to be dealing with the branch of chemistry known as the organic chemistry. Organic chemistry. As we all know, there are different branches of chemistry. We have the analytical chemistry, we have the physical chemistry, we have the industrial chemistry, we have the organic chemistry, we have what we describe as the general chemistry. But today, we'll be looking at organic chemistry. As a way of introduction, I will be dealing with the definition of what we know as organic chemistry. So we can therefore define organic chemistry as the branch So, like I said, that organic chemistry is the branch of chemistry that deals with organic compounds. So, in this definition, we'll be dealing with the word organic compounds and its derivative, meaning that there are other compounds that organic compound is being derived from. And so, based on that, we will now try to find out what is the word organic compounds that led to organic chemistry. And so, we'll be dealing with the word organic compounds. So, by also the way of definition, organic compounds are organic compounds. They are compounds of carbon and its derivatives. And so it simply means that the major constituents of organic compounds are carbon. And so therefore, organic compounds can also be defined as compound of carbon and hydrogen. Majorly, compounds of carbon and hydrogen. So we can use the word C and H, but we can also see other compounds like nitrogen, oxygen, sulfur, and even sometimes metals attaching to organic compounds. As long as the compound is majorly carbon and hydrogen, they are described and known as organic compounds. The ability of carbon to interact with itself, carbon interacting with itself, meaning carbon bonded to carbon, carbon bonded to carbon, carbon bonded to carbon to form a long chain hydrocarbon is described as the word catenation. And so the origin of organic compound came as a result of carbon interacting with each other, and that gave rise to this series of organic compounds. And so organic compound becomes the compound or the chemistry of carbon and hydrogen, basically. And so from here, you will see where carbon is interacting with carbon. Carbon interacting with carbon. Carbon interacting with carbon. It can keep interacting until it forms ring, it forms long chain, it forms branch chain, as long as it is interacting with each other. The process whereby carbon interact with each other to form a long chain hydrocarbon is known as catenation. And so for organic compound to come to existence, catenation must exist. And so we will now look at what are the basic composition of organic compounds. What is organic compound made up of? So quickly, after our definition, we will be going into the composition. Since we have known that organic chemistry is the chemistry of carbon and its derivatives, and then we have also defined organic compounds to be the compounds of carbon and its derivatives, which can also be described as the chemistry of carbon and hydrogen, basically. And I said that the ability of carbon to join to each other to form a chain, a long chain, is described as catenation. Take note. So organic compound cannot come into existence without the process catenation. And that catenation is as a result of carbon interacting with carbon. So we'll be looking at composition. What are the basic composition? What are the basic composition of? One, organic compound is made up of basically carbon and hydrogen, basic element. So they are made up of carbon and hydrogen, basically. Apart from carbon and hydrogen, organic compound is also made up of oxygen. Sometimes you will see oxygen as part of the composition of organic compounds. You will see nitrogen as part of that. You will see phosphorus as part of that. You will see sulfur as part of that. And then sometimes you will see metals. Metals. For example, metals like magnesium. You will see metals like lithium. These are the basic composition of organic compounds. And so with that, since organic compounds are made up of basically carbon and hydrogen, there are elemental analysis, because there are elements that are carried out to detect their percentage composition. Because since they are made up of, we want to know how much of carbon, how much of hydrogen, how much of oxygen may be present in a certain organic compound. That will lead us to what we describe as empirical and molecular formula. And so, dealing on empirical,